Hello pal number one and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Artie. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. So we're going to take a look at what it is that you guys are bringing to the table as described by the energy and by spirit. So if you guys chose pile number one, which was the photo of the lightning bolt into the hand. So what this is originally telling me when I first saw the picture, that the people who chose this pile were people who were catalysts of change within perspective. So it also led me into a little bit of a form of meditation before I started the reading. So I did focus in on it for about 5-10 minutes before I started the recording. And what came up was that you guys represent a symbol of hope, intuition, guidance, and almost transformation or rebirth, liberation. The reason why this is because you guys have an untapped potential within you. Some of you might be conscious of this, but some of you operate through this gift subconsciously, you see, and it was coming into the energy to help bring it to your conscious mind just a little bit more, because you guys have the ability to accept what is and then make it into something beautiful. And just to delve a little bit deeper into that, you guys have the ability to see how negative things, or things that were once seen as bothersome, a limitation, something that was once challenging or holding you back, you guys are able to see the true value within these sorts of situations. So you provide hope for people around you, and people perceive you as very intuitive because of this. And I believe this is something that you offer the people around you and the people that you engage with. I also feel as though you are people who are very nurturing, especially during times of change. So people find you supportive and comforting. It's almost like you guys provide a form of protection for people, either through the gift of insight, even just your support, nurture, understanding, your willingness to accept what is and to just listen and be there. And I also feel like you guys are almost a symbol of creation in a way. Creation that it's because you guys have the ability to see things in such a different perspective, where you find beauty and purpose within things that most people don't tend to see. They overlook, they undervalue, they underappreciate, and with your ability to do this, you also see how the bad qualities within people aren't necessarily bad. They're just not being used in the best way for the individual and for the way it is that that individual creates. So you're very good at encouraging the goodness within people, which helps you to be seen and described as someone who is like a protector of goodness within people, within life, within situations. I would also say that you guys, once again, have the ability to make things that are insignificant into something precious, because of your ability to see the value in things that most people don't. Does it make sense? So with that being said, pile number one, I'm going to tap into the energy of the cards, and we're going to allow spirit to guide this spread here. So please, guides, guardians, universe, energies, in service of all of those who have chosen pile number one, I welcome you into the space, and I ask that you please provide us with wisdom, clarity, insight, guidance, love, protection. Please grant me the ability to articulate your messages as accurately and as clearly as possible. Alrighty, pile number one. So I heard something about the inner child while I was setting the intentions. I think you guys are very good at seeing how trauma has affected people. I think that's what Spirit is saying here. You guys are quite claircognizant, so you have intuitive perception, intuitive knowing, and I probably would say that you guys are actually quite well balanced within all of your senses, which grants you the ability of heightened awareness of not just yourself but others. So some of you guys might identify to be empaths, heyokas, psychic intuitives, or people who are just very, very caring, and people who have very, very big hearts, a lot of empathy, the ability to see yourself in others, and the ability to see the goodness and the bad. If you guys see me looking off into the distance, I'm just mirror scrying, bringing through messages this way. It's just a bit easier for me, you know, and it comes through a bit faster. Alright, so guides, please give us a look into how it is that you would describe what it is that pile number 1 is currently bringing to the table in their world. So we have such a curious dream, which is number 45. That reduces down to number 9. So you guys are very good at gaining clear perceptions of situations, concepts, exchanges of truth. You guys see things very clearly because you're very present within your moment, which helps you to embody what other people might be feeling, thinking, processing, and then internalizing, which gives you a deeper perspective into the reality of different individuals around you. So once again, very intuitive, you know what I'm saying? That is something that is very strongly offered, and something that you bring to the table in your world. So I also just heard that you guys have fought a lot of negative forces within your life, and I want to validate that for you. I just heard that. But do you know what? People actually really do highly respect you. They don't necessarily always understand you because you're quite advanced within your intellect and within your emotional maturity, and also how it is that you allow your internal world to to influence the way it is that you create in your external world, which is the union of the feminine and masculine energy within you guys. You guys are very well evolved, you know what I'm saying? You might not be necessarily sold on what I'm saying here, but it's something that Spirit wants you to kind of, I don't know, reflect on a little bit more. You guys also have a heightened understanding of universal laws for some of you. Those of you who are connected to like the esoteric, the divination realm and interest of things, you guys are very highly evolved within your understanding of how it is that the universe communicates with you, how it is that Spirit works with you, or how it is that God moves through you. You know what I'm saying here? So I also would say that the way it is that Spirit would describe what it is that you bring to the table, you help people come back to the reality that is existent, one that is present. You know what I'm saying? Quite often in this world, as you like, if you go out into the world and you just observe the world, most of them are existing in their thoughts and their fears and their hopes and their delusions, but none of them are really actually here. None of them are really actually present. None of them are really actually involved in their world, what it is that they say, what they do. They're not in control of themselves, whereas you are very well disciplined within your sense of self-knowing, within your sense of self-belonging. Even if you don't recognize this consciously, that is the energy that you bring. And people see you as someone who helps them to see the true reality of what it is that they are creating for themselves by becoming aware of what they contribute, how they behave, the attitudes, consequences, how their thoughts and beliefs might be a little bit more sacrificial than what they might be aware of. You guys are quite masterful in your ways, I want to say, pile number 1, whether you know this or not, and whether you really embody this truth or not. You guys are very humble in your ways, and I think this is because, once again, you are people who bring very quick and very great change to how it is that people perceive their world, perceive their life, and interact with their world and create in it. You understand what I'm saying here? So yeah, you actually offer a lot to people, but you make them feel comfortable to do so because, once again, you see the goodness within the bad, and you help people to transform rather than fight themselves. You've helped people to win a lot of spiritual wars, really. And what I mean by spiritual wars, you've helped people to overcome a lot of personal battles that they've had with themselves, a lot of struggles that they've had with themselves. You've helped people to change a lot of the ways that they perceive their trauma, which then changes the way that their trauma affects them in their everyday life. You help bring people aware, and you're very consistent in how it is that you also stay aware of yourself. And you're very I want to say you're quite deliberate with what it is that you do. You don't do anything by mistake, or you don't do anything without real purpose. And that's another thing that you bring to the table that a lot of people around you actually really greatly appreciate, pile number one. So those are the messages that I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to this message. I hope it has come a positive service to you. And with all that being said, until next time. Hello, pile number 2, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here today. If you've never seen my face before, my name is Artia. Hello. Thank you guys for being here once again. So, pile number 2. If you guys chose the hand holding a tree, focusing in on the energy here, I would say that you guys have definitely grown through a lot of your struggles alone. I'd say you've definitely fought heavier battles than most around you, or at least I would say that you guys probably feel this way. You guys are probably very old souls. You guys are ahead of your time, or at least this is the way that you might be perceived by the people around you, when you might put it down to the experiences that you went through to learn how to be comfortable on your own, and to learn how to be harmonized and balanced within your strength, your individuality, your ability to express yourself, and then your ability to belong and be a part of something greater than just your own experiences. People would probably say that you guys have grown a lot, or at least this is what the energy is kind of giving to me. A lot of the time you probably felt like you weren't strong enough to face the life lessons that you guys had probably grown to face and had to grow through. But something that I just want to put into focus, if you're needing this message, is how much more value you gained from learning these things and going through these things. It helps you to become very stable within your life, and very stable within your own self-knowing and your own self-identity, your ability to critically think and independently think, which is something that is actually more valuable than what most people would be appreciating these days, you know. So that was something that I just wanted to touch on. Now, I also think some of you guys might have a hidden talent for working with things like nature. You guys might grow gardens. My friend makes art pieces with earth element. You might do certain things like that. I'm not actually quite sure of what the name is anymore, but he had recently been sending me photos of little art pieces that contain earthly elements, which is really cool. Some of you guys might work closely with medicine as well. You're very good at nursing people back into health, and nursing animals, plants, taking care of things. It's a healing ability within you guys that you produce in your energy without you might being conscious of it. The reason why you radiate such healing energy is because of how strong you've become from learning how to heal yourself and support yourself through a lot of the things that you have been through, pile number 2. So I think something that I need to pass on to you here that you're bringing to the table that you might not necessarily be conscious of is that you guys have the ability to almost help to remove blocks and barriers that other people face and might go through. You're very good at helping people to combat their fears, to overcome them, you know, their challenges, their perceptions, the ways that they limit themselves. You help people to become aware of real threats, real issues, real problems, you know what I'm saying? And you help people to redirect their focuses away from things such as distraction, is what I just heard. I also heard some of you guys have a talent for monetizing your ideas that were initially inspired by emotional maturity. You guys are actually a lot more emotionally mature than what you might know, or some of you might consciously know, but I want to say you're actually much more mature than what you might think. I think you guys have the maturity to face the darker realities and darker truths in life without running, without making excuses, without delusionating or minimizing things. You know what I'm saying? You're very good at accepting reality for what it is in all of its extremes. I also want to say that you help to assist people with celebrating life. This is either by experiencing the things that you have and then expressing these life lessons to people outside of you. You help to put into perspective why people should appreciate themselves, why it is that they should appreciate their lives and the good things that are going on in their life. Because I think you are people who have really honestly struggled, really faced the harsher conditions in life. And I also think that a lot of the people who chose pile number 2 probably grew up in really harsh circumstances or in really unsupportive environments, whether this be the culture, the community, the upbringing, the relationship that you shared with parents. I think what you guys have really done is done the best that you can to make the good out of the bad, you know. And that's a message that I'm getting here. So what is it that pile number 2 is bringing to the table as described by Spirit in service of the highest and greatest good? Yeah, you guys are natural leaders because you've had to go through life a lot of the time alone. You've had to create a lot of balance and harmony in situations that were very chaotic. And an old proverb that I used to quote a lot of the time when things were a struggle for me was, be the peace within the chaos. I don't need to add my worries, my stress. I don't need to add my own negative attitudes and my own resistance to a situation that is already challenging. That just adds extra challenge, extra burden, extra suffering on myself. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I started to feel myself losing grip, I would always remind myself to be the peace within the chaos. When things are crazy around me, I remember within that proverb that the craziness is temporary. I am what is going to last. I am what I'm going to go home and experience. So internally, do I want to walk away from situations carrying all that ick and harboring all the ick? Or do I want to accept what is, do what I can, and take things step by step? I think you guys are very realistic in your approaches to life, and I think once again you've evolved yourself very well. And it's taught you a lot about your leadership abilities, to take leadership over your own life, and the power of creation, the choices that you can make, and the ways it is that you can motivate yourself or restrict yourself. So you guys also might be very gifted in the realm of helping people to connect to their authenticity, helping people to reconnect with their true empowerment, and helping people to kind of heal themselves of their mistakes by being a really encouraging and motivating force, really, that provides direction and insight, understanding and practical approaches that are effective. You guys don't become distracted by things that ultimately don't matter in the long run, and you help to redirect this focus once again in people that come to you looking for help. I want to pull one more card here before we close this reading. What is it that pile number 2 is bringing to the table at the time of them viewing this reading? Do we need one more? Thank you. What it is that you guys are bringing to the table, I'm just going to offer what I just heard was your wisdom and how it is that you remind people of what is important. So what this card is saying is the Black Cat, Lost Magic, Atonement, and Rebalance, number 3. And then we also have the Mermaid and the Turtle Woman, and Elder will teach you, number 25. So yeah, you guys have used life as your teacher, life as your mentor, life as your guide. You've learned from the highs and lows in life, and this has given you a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight, and a lot of connection to your authentic version of self, your essence. You know what I'm saying? That most people around you don't have connection with, awareness of, or the ability to comprehend. So you are also very gifted in the ability of modernizing information, simplifying things, helping people to stay grounded enough not to become overwhelmed by the facts of what is. You know what I'm saying? You help people to also see the deeper meaning behind potential through challenges, and you really do inspire a lot of personal growth of people around you. You really are a symbol that reminds people that, you know, you can be a victim or you can be a conqueror, and it's up to the consistency and determination of the individual of how far that they will go. And a quote, I don't know who it's from, but it's an old quote that is a Chinese proverb, I believe. I'm trying to connect to it intuitively, or at least remember more, but I can't. It's to do with bamboo, and it's the quote says, bamboo doesn't resist bending with the wind, and if it ran the risk of doing so, it would snap. It's not quite, that is not quite the quote, but that is the understanding I took away from it. So that was saying, you know, you can either resist the way it is, that you can utilize your skills, your understandings, where it is that you are at in life and what life is providing you, or you can use it to burden the self. So yeah, you're really being described as a very good leader and a teacher, a wise counselor, a wise guide. And also guardian, because you guys are very good at discerning when is best applicable for information, when to best take action, when to lead, when to step back, when to speak, when to listen. You know, once again, you're very harmonized within yourself, which helps you to judge life outside of you in a harmonious way, which grants you the ability to discern well when the best of you can be provided at the best time. So those are the messages that I have for you today, pile number 2. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to what I had to share with you today. I hope this has come a positive service and found you well. With all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you've never seen my face before, my name is Adia. Hi. So with that being said, let's jump into your reading and take a look at what it is that you guys are bringing to the table. So if you see me looking off into the distance, I'm just mirror scrying. It helps me to bring through messages. So opening up with a channeled message, tapping into your energy. If you guys chose the hand holding a tornado, what this is telling me is that you guys are very intimidating within your presence. Pile number 3, to most people around you, or at least as being described by the energy. And this is because you guys have a very clear and precise way of expressing truth. And the thing about truth is, even when it's necessary, it doesn't always feel good. And because you are people who live solely for the truth, understanding the truth, expressing the truth, teaching the truth, absorbing the truth, you're very passionate about it. It makes people intimidated around you, because not everybody has the dedication or ability to really devote themselves and commit themselves to authenticity, to truth outside of them, to understanding truth, seeking truth, being it, and embodying it. You know what I'm saying here? So yeah, I would say that you guys are people who prefer to embody the energy that is more compassionate, more generous, the energy that is more sympathetic. You people are very highly evolved within your intellect, and that's why I am taking a little bit more time to sit with the energy, because I just want to understand this properly. And I think this is something that you guys express really well. You're very good at targeting questions. You're very good at looking into areas of life, circumstances, situations that are actually beneficial to where it is that you want to go, to building, to progress, to growth, to positive change. You know what I'm saying here? But once again, to create positive change, we need to be aware of what isn't going to be positive. And this is where you almost can sometimes intimidate people with the words and ways that you bring understanding. You guys are very enlightened people. very enlightened individuals. You're very unique within your understanding, your perspective, and the way it is that you connect with the world around you and the people around you. I would also say that you guys are very clairsentient, so you're very good at sensing the hidden truths of people's beliefs, needs, wants, ambitions, goals, desires, truths, personas, masks, and ego. You know what I'm saying? The multi-dimensional versions of self that then come into a collective oneness that makes the totality of individuals or of situations. You're very good at seeing what contributes to a whole and seeing what part the individual aspects of this whole do best. Does that make sense? Okay, so I also think that, once again, you guys are very highly evolved within your intelligence, and I think this is because you're very enlightened beings. You seek truth and understanding so that you can then provide truth and understanding. But people see you as very healing presence, a person who is a symbol of positive change, by uprooting or uplifting what shouldn't be where they are placed to then be replaced somewhere else, that it will be better, or that it could. You're very good at seeing situations that could be used in better ways. Does that make sense? I'm so sorry. I'm struggling to kind of explain the energy all that well. Okay, so you guys are also very good at sensing out residual energy. Some of you guys would have gone to locations and sensed like the heebie-jeebies, and then started like almost going into like a memory set that doesn't belong to you. So you guys might start to imagine scenarios around the energy that you're feeling, and at least it feels that way, or you'll start to visualize it or embody it, which means think, behave, and feel the same as what the energy is promoting. You guys are very sensitive to residual energy, which does kind of make energy repeat, or situations repeat, or like history repeat itself, and you're very good at spotting up patterns to then understand what modalities, what practices, what methods, what solutions are needed to help to heal residual energy, repeating patterns, karmic cycles, poor outcomes. Okay, so taking a look at what it is that you guys are bringing to the table. Please, guides, guardians, and universe entities in service of the highest and greatest good of those who have come to view. Pile number 3. What is it that they are offering? So the thing that you are bringing to the table is represented by number 44. You can't go back to yesterday, be in the present moment. This is a similar energy that was told in a different pile, but this is being expressed in a little bit of a different way. You give higher perspective to people around you with the eagle totem. It's more like a griffin, but I'm getting eagle because I heard the eagle sound when I saw the card. So once again, you guys provide higher knowledge, hidden understandings, new perspectives, new ways of looking at things, new ways of expanding. You guys are very good at pointing out where it is that people are limiting themselves, and where it is that they are kind of self-sabotaging, working against themselves, where it is that they undermine themselves, and how it is that they can use the system, their patterns, their karma in more beneficial ways. You help people to redirect the course of which they're in. So I'd say that you guys probably have attracted in a lot of people who have had a lot of issues in the past. You know what I'm saying? And I think because of your clairsentience, you're very good at embodying what it is that other people are experiencing internally, at least the truth that they're feeling, which gives you a deeper understanding of what is really going on beneath the surface for other people outside of you, you know. Once again, you see truths that other people do not see it either, and this is because you're so present in the moment within your situations and circumstances in ways that most other people probably aren't, and probably don't want to be. You're very good at observing the dark and ugly realities that most people don't want to accept, acknowledge, or possibly even accept, have influenced them, condition them, or program them into being. And you re-inspire the individuality within other people outside of you, which is represented by number 44. You help people to build solid foundations within themselves by helping people to kind of recollect themselves. You know what I'm saying? Bring themselves back to this moment and help them to see the true reality of what they've created, what they've contributed to, how it is that they are that is creating results, and how it is that they can take control or discipline over their life and redirect that for themselves. I want to pull another card here. Sorry, guys. What is it that pile number 3 is bringing to the table? So we have the wilding. People see you as someone who is supported by very powerful spirits. Pile number 3. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps you have ancient bloodline, native background, or you guys might even consciously channel very powerful beings in like the spiritual realm. I also think that what you're bringing to the table is new reasons for people to appreciate themselves, appreciate their life, appreciate their reality, and appreciate the power that they hold within themselves. You guys probably don't know this just yet, but you have the ability to connect to the true depths of like people's Akashic records, what motivates them, what helps them grow within their awareness of their essence, you know, the true real reflections of people and consciousness and God. You guys have hidden knowledge of these things, and perhaps, yeah, you've helped to create momentum within the awakening. Perhaps you guys have been doing a certain line of work for so long that it's helped a lot more people than what you might first initially realize. Yeah, okay. So another thing that you guys are bringing to the table that you might not be aware of is represented by sacred sexuality and also death. So you guys are very fertile with ideas, and you're very good at helping people to bring revolutions to themselves and inspire positive change within people outside of them. You know what I'm saying? Your energy is very contagious, pile number 3, and you're not someone who is most commonly thought of. You do things in ways that probably astound a lot of people, and people see you as kind of unnatural in the best way possible, and because, well, you're rare. You see what I'm saying here? People find it hard to describe you, and the energy is very mysterious and once again very unique, that it's hard to kind of put into words a clear understanding of how insightful your energy really is. People probably spend a lot of time wondering how much you do know, why you know the things you know, and how you obtain the understandings that you do and the ways that you do. You see what I'm saying here, pile number 3? But those are the messages I have for you today. I feel like I need to give you one more. Okay, one more. What is it that pile number 3 are offering the world around them? I think for the most part, pile number 3, you probably already are quite aware of what it is that you have to offer the world, what it is that you are bringing to the table. And I think this is because you are consciously always working on providing your best possible self, or becoming your best possible self. That is just how you appear in your every single day life, with preservance being here. And what just fell out here? Synchronicity. Yeah, you are exactly who you say you are, and that's kind of what you live in every day. And that's what you preserve, your authenticity, your truth, who it is that you say you are. You're probably more so embodiment of your morals and your values and your virtues, once again, because you're very clairsentient people. You connect best with sensing what is within people, you know. And you give and grant people deeper understandings of what it means to bring self-security, self-understanding, order within thoughts, belief systems, and understandings within what it is that people are really choosing to consciously contribute to. So I would say that you guys have an untapped potential of mastering the subconscious mind, and you help people to understand things about themselves that they don't understand, because you have gone into the depth of yourself to understand these potentials within you that then grant you the ability to guide others to reach the same depths and gain their own understandings. So those are the messages I have for you today, pile number 3. Thank you so much for stopping by today and listening to these messages. I hope they found you well. With all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number 4, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. If you're new here, my name is Artie. We're going to jump in and take a look at what it is described by the energy that you guys are offering to your world or bringing to the table. So tapping into the energy of the grabber that you guys would have chosen. You guys are very, very powerful individuals, because you have the ability to create really, really good things or really, really bad things, and that's something that I've used to describe personal energy often on this channel. I would say that you guys have the ability to create really amazing things that could be beneficial for many people, but I also think that you have the ability to recreate things that might not be so beneficial and that might inspire the opposite of goodness within collectives, within groups, communities, families, belief systems and focuses of those that you interact with. I do, however, feel though, pile number 4, that you guys are most focused on creating positive change within others. You break down the not so favorable focuses of individuals and help them to adopt better mindsets or understandings and perspectives of possibilities outside of them. You know what I'm saying here? You create purification in a way that provides people with the space to then kind of renew themselves, redesign themselves, if that makes sense. Now, yeah, tapping in 77, spirituality. You guys also help people to understand spirituality in a way that has not been explained before. Perhaps you guys have a very unique relationship with well-being, with the psyche, with the subconscious mind, unconscious mind, or the conscious awareness. You guys have a deep understanding of like what makes people tick. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so I also feel like you become what you need to become, pile number 4, which helps to inspire other people outside of you, because you've shown and defied many opinions of others outside of you, and you've proven to yourself that you are all it is that you need. And the card that came out here was follow your dreams. Yeah, you are all it is that you need to achieve what it is that you set your mind to. Only you can create the vision it is that you hold for yourself, is what I just heard. Some of you guys might be life coaches or might be looking for someone like a mentor, like a life coach. The best people to learn from is yourself, from your own mistakes, strengths, and from your past achievements. To learn from what works and what doesn't. And because you people are those who have independently set out on this road to do so, you also help other people to understand the power of these focuses within. You know what I'm saying here? I also think you help to teach people what it means to understand infinite potential. You help people to understand the power of being a student rather than the teacher. And that naturally puts you into the position of becoming a teacher as it is. And you teach people unintentional life lessons. Pile number 4. And this is why people really do appreciate you. I think you guys have the ability to also understand the instincts, intuition, motive, drive, very different to most other people outside of you, in a way that helps you to have influence over others. So that's why you are very powerful. You can either use your ability and insights and understandings of others outside of you, how the world works and how it is that you fit in your world, in ways that are very beneficial for many, or in ways that are beneficial only for self, or in ways that can be very destructive. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you guys have definitely been through a very harsh past where you've probably experienced the lower vibrations of your potential. And I think a lot of you guys redirected your life at numerous times away from temptations that originally directed you down paths that went against yourself. And I think you're very good at also pointing this out for others, how it is that they've deviated away from their inner truths, from their inner essence, and moved into pathways that are only leading them to further suffering, consequence, unhappiness, unfulfillment. And yeah, this card just came out in support of what I was picking up in the energy, saying that yeah, you guys help to bring harmony within the people around you, because you help them to see where it is that they deviate away from them being their best selves, them making the best out of their life, them being the best versions of themselves that they can be to create the best possible outcomes, you know. So let's take another look at a different deck here. Guys, what is it that pile number 4 is providing the world around them? What is it that they're bringing to the table? Okay, so the first card that came out here was Pose Brave Flight. You will not let fear stop you this time. Number 26. So yeah, you help to bring positive change and transformation. You inspire others past their self-declared limitations, fears, programming, propaganda, and dogma. I just heard as well, dogma. You help people to see how they can sometimes be their problem. You help show people how it is that they hold themselves back, and it's not how life is holding them back, it's how they are their limit, how they are their block. You know what I'm saying? You help people to defeat and conquer their fears through leading them to understand themselves, their own instincts, their own intuition, their own better judgment, their own wisdom. You help people to trust themselves from what it is that they have been through, and you help them to reconnect to themselves after corruption. Though, like I need to keep repeating how heavy that is. You help people to reconnect to the truth of themselves. That is so important, and we need so much of that today, because most of the population around us are people who are possessed by the system. And I people might not necessarily agree with me in that perspective of things, but being someone who's worked with many different people around the world, I hear experiences of this very focus, people being disconnected from themselves, people lacking in self-awareness. And I think you are people who see the true dangers behind this, so you help people to redirect back into who it is that they are. You reconnect them to the truth of themselves, to the truth of their heart. I think that you are also people who help others to understand and the truth of their emotions. Like, for example, you might work with people who come across quite aggressive, people who are like outcasted from the world. Perhaps you've experienced a lot of connections that came and went, and you know, they weren't the most agreeable people or the most accepted people. But you help people to see the goodness within themselves, really, and see, you put it into perspective how people are really kind of pathing their own way by the choices it is that they make, either consciously or unconsciously. So you promote and really are quite a symbol of purification, I see here, detachment, renewal, growth, and you help people to understand the outcome of these dedications and commitments. You people are quite observant at the same time. You guys might be a little bit clairvoyant. So you have the ability to see into future things. You are very good at predicting trends, outcomes, movements, or how things can become corrupt and be led off into ways that deviate from truth. So I would say that you probably point these sorts of things out to the world around you and the people around you as well, which helps them to stay an awareness of themselves and an awareness of their environments. You help keep them connected to the truth. What is it that pile number 4 is offering the world around them? Yeah, which helps people to heal. That is the truth of what it is that you're bringing the world around you. With the number 34 being here, that reduces down to 7. So you inspire personal growth within people around you, self-evolution. You also inspire people to gain realization over what is when they are delusionated or illusioned by what is not, that is being manipulated to be perceived as is. Does that make sense? You help wake people up, pile number 4. And you help people understand their needs, understand what is possible, and understand what it needs to be developed in order to step into the reality that they do wish to be in, and the versions of themselves that they do wish to embody. So those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so very much for stopping by. I hope these have found you well. Pile number 4, thank you for everything it is that you do, and I hope you have a really great rest of your day. Once again, thank you for stopping by. Until next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 5. Welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here today. If you've never seen my face before, my name is Artia. You see me staring off into the distance. I'm just mirror scrying or meditating. It helps me to bring through the messages a bit easier and quicker. So if you guys chose this pile, this will be the pile of the hands holding water. What this is telling me is what you're offering to the world is pure connection and intention. You guys are very deep, insightful, wise, supportive, understanding, and caring. But at the same time, you also, with all your goodness, you're very good at also disciplining and controlling the duality to that, the balance to all that goodness. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that you are people that not many people really wish to mess with, not because they're afraid of you, intimidated by you, but because of how pure you are and who it is that you say that you are and how it is that you present yourself and provide the goodness of yourself, that they don't want to jeopardize or give you reason not to be who it is that you are. Does that make sense? People see you guys as someone who probably has the ability to understand other people's undisciplined inner chaos. I think you guys have a developed eye for also pointing out the evils in life that most people don't see. I think you guys have been through a lot and probably seen a lot of darkness within the human capability manifest outside of you. You guys might have guilty pleasures such as like CI, crime investigation, occult investigation, dark psychology or dark practices and things like that. And it's not because you're dark, it's because it helps you to vicariously learn without having to necessarily experience. Does that make sense? You're very good at downloading information through witnessing other things outside of you. At least that's what I feel here through that picture that you guys chose. I also feel that you guys might identify to be energy healers, either through counseling people through their own life experiences that helps you to grow an awareness of possibility of what is, but you also help people to understand what it takes to cleanse negative energy in life. This helps you to gain awareness over what sorts of modalities, practices, applications of behaviors, patterns, and aims or goals that are most effective at different stages of progress. Does that make sense? I think you guys how can I put this? You guys have a deeper motive behind why you are the way you are. You have a deeper purpose behind doing what you do. And I can't necessarily put that quite into a category or like a specific example because it will be personal to each of you. But I feel here that it serves a greater purpose, what you do and who you are. Okay, let me grab my cards here. You also kind of gift people outside of you a lot of growth through the insight it is that you provide them. And this is growth within learning how to literally mature themselves. You help people through great milestones in their lives, whether you know this consciously or not. With lead the way coming out here, this talks about being a leader, showing others how it's done and how it is that you help others. This highlights your leadership skills, and it also highlights your mastery over teamwork, cooperation. It's like Libra energy here, harmony and domestic balance and things like that, happiness, mutual gains, mutual benefits is what I'm getting here. When you set out to achieve something, you're not just setting out to achieve it for yourself. Usually pile number 5. And when you win, everyone you love around you kind of wins. You help to provide people with insights that help them to make the best out of the time it is that they have. You help people to appreciate their ability to live life. You also absorb a lot of negative energy. Pile number 5. But it's almost like you're a chaos magician, where even when you absorb negative energy, at least to a certain amount, it doesn't affect you. You don't allow it to influence you or infiltrate your ability to discipline and control yourself and your energy and what you allow to channel through you. Doesn't it make sense? So you're seen as very masterful in your ways and in your authenticity. All right, let me see here. What is it that pile number 5 is offering the world around them, please? Strange encounters with 31 believe. You help people to, what would be the word? Consider possibilities and truths that exist outside of their own. You help people to open up to understanding that things that they might criticize, demonize, deem as really bad, can still be a part of themselves without them even consciously realizing it. You help people to understand their triggers, you know what I'm saying here, and you help them to understand what parts it is that they have to play in their situations that turn out bad. So most people probably won't come to you for your wisdom, your insight, or your truth unless they're really serious about the changes that need to be made, the new versions of themselves that they need to bring through to then create better outcomes. You have to see the purity within people, and you're very good with your forgiveness and wisdom of forgiveness too. Pile number 5, this is something else that you offer to the world around you. Purity and innocence. You help others to understand that they might not always understand what it is that they do. And this is why and how it is that you help people to mature themselves, because you help them to become aware of what it is that they're actually doing, which most of the time people aren't really aware of what they're doing until that they've done it and then see what happens, you know. So yeah, you also help others to understand what needs they have. You help them to declutter their desires that corrupt their idea of needs. You help people to become less superficial and more intentional and purposeful and more present within what it is that they do. I want to pull you guys an animal totem here. What is it that pile number 5 is offering the world around them? Octopus. You're offering to the world around you new perspectives that help them to understand what needs to be removed, how it is that people need to take accountability for the outcomes it is that they are witnessing in the world around them. You guys might have a platform or a bigger reach to a larger group of people than, you know, most others, and you spread messages that really target the collective. These are shared issues, these are large issues, these are large focuses that everyone can relate to, which is why I believe you will always find yourself in the spotlight, pile number 5, because the things that you have to say, share, the things that you understand and hold deep wisdom about are things that can benefit so many more people and change the timeline of the future moving forward. more voices like yours need to be empowered by what I hear here, because of your intention and your motive is so pure. It comes from a place of pure betterment. And that is why you will always find yourself leading groups of people without really trying to. And that's what Spirit wants you to know. You have a very colorful mind, and it grants you the ability to tap into different skill sets that you might have that might not even be developed within yourself. And with your ability to do this with yourself, you're also providing this inspiration within others. You might see things within others that others are really, really good at that they might not consider within themselves, and you point them out to people and then provide them with a safe space for them to develop that. You help to stick up for what it is that you believe in. You help to stick up for the underdog. And once again, most people don't want to mess with you, because the panther totem is very, very protective, very, very nurturing, very, very loving of their own. But as soon as there is a threat, they are dangerous. They are scary. They are a force to be reckoned with. And this is your energy that you guys embody and bring to the world. People would want you close when they feel vulnerable, when they feel beaten down, when they feel, I don't know, also neglected, is what I just heard. Dealing with things like abandonment, you guys provide an energy that is so pure and so genuine that you remind people that there is still goodness in the world, even when they don't want to see it. You kind of rebuke things like depression, illness, stress, and yeah, you see through bullshit, really. false masks, false personas, false agendas as well. You're very, because you're so pure and so genuine, you're very good at spotting out what is disingenuous, what is full of poos, what is all cucks and not worth the time and investment. So I would say you're also a very good judge of character and very good at predicting what sort of people are outside of you, especially to those that you love around you. You're very good at sensing out what is good for people and what is not, and that might also mean relationships. Pile number 5. So those are the messages that I'm seeing here at the moment. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and taking time out to listen to these. I hope they found you well, and with all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number 6. Welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. If you've not seen my face before, my name is Artia. We're going to jump in and take a look at what it is Spirit describe as you bringing to the table. What type of qualities and light are you offering your world around you? So connecting to the energy of the image you guys would have chosen, which is the hands holding light. This is telling me that what you are offering to the world around you is non-physical. This is energetic, this is spiritual, this is deep emotional, this is through the unseen reality of what we all experience within our realities. Does that make sense? You guys are very, very influential. You guys are very effective, very objective, very impactful within your presence, within your influence, within your reach, within just your presence. Did I say that already? I'm not too sure. I feel like you guys probably ignite wonderment within the collective around you. You've probably attracted in a lot of stubborn, narrow-minded, closed-minded, very limited perceptions within your experiences of connections outside of you, but you inspire curiosities and deeper wonderment within people. Pile number 6. You help expand people's minds, perspectives, beliefs. You help people to step outside of themselves, really, and see that there's much more to life than just themselves and the mundane. The physical world isn't all that there is. There's much more to it all, is what I'm feeling here. I also feel as though that you guys have the ability to connect to Source, God. Perhaps you identify to be a messenger of God, the universe, the Great Spirit, higher forces and sources, divine beings and entities. You guys kind of provide insight, information, predictions, prophecies. You guys also provide modalities that are not here yet. Does that make sense? Like, perhaps you have the ability to look very deeply into the future and perceive what will be needed at the time, and you guys inspire change within the collective to start moving towards that. This could be within your personal life, within business, within projects, within careers, or quite literally within world transitions. You guys might have an attraction to things such as astrology, which grants you the ability to see into different timelines, and you guys might be able to associate these sorts of energies with individuals that then predict trends. Alright, let's take a look and see here. What is it that you guys are offering to your world around you? I think you're very good at always cultivating goodness, and no matter where it is that you find yourself, you guys choose happiness. Especially during times that are challenging. You're very good at creating happiness around you too. Pile number 6, you're seen as like the life of the party, or like a very vibrant and high vibrational being, you know. I think you're also people who have the ability to confront darkness in ways where most other people feel uncomfortable. When I say darkness, that's quite vague. How can we... You have the ability to focus in on pride, the darkness, the shadow aspects of people, the hidden truths or hidden evils within people. And you're very good at showing people that nothing is necessarily evil, nothing is necessarily good. Bad can come out of the good and good can come out of the bad, but it depends on the person. You're very good at putting this power into perspective in ways that give people a choice, and whatever people choose, you allow them to grow into, because you understand that everything is necessary, everything is there for a reason, everything happens the way that it happens, probably because it's supposed to. And this is probably because you're people that understand that things don't just come about like that. There's a whole alignment that needs to take place, a whole bunch of contributions that needs to be added for something to come to be as a result. And I think you guys are very good at understanding this. I think that you're also very good at helping people to break past attachments of identity, labels, limitations based on perspective. And I also think that you are people who understand that we can have whatever it is that we want as individuals. It's more like, how is it that you put into perspective how it is that people around you are truly wishing to grow. Say, for example, I would say that you're very sovereign in your ways, very present within your own being, but very open and understanding to the world that takes place outside of you. You guys would probably be observers of life, information collectors, investigators, watchers, earth angels, starseeds. Some of you might identify to be those things, but you don't hold them as like actual definitions. They're more like modern understandings and guidelines of how it is that you wish to project yourself, but you remind people that's not the totality of who it is that you are. That's a version of yourself that you have the ability to express. So you guys are very good at predicting positive outcomes outside of you as well. You give very positive affirmation. You speak goodness into existence within the people around you and the reality of the outcomes that end up coming to be. I think you help people to capitalize on goodness that comes out of bad, but also to harness the goodness in bad times to stay hopeful, stay strong, stay motivated and dedicated and committed to making their way through things that ultimately manifest to try to halt them, limit them, stop them from embodying and growing into their full potential, or untapped potential, I guess we could say. I also think that you guys have very unique interests that probably would seem quite quirky to other people outside of you. You're seen as someone who's like otherwhelmly. Pile number 6. People struggle to kind of explain your personality to other people outside of them. Like, say for example, if your best friend was to go to their family and their family was like, never met you before, they're like, oh, what's your best friend like? They would be like, they're this, but they're this. You're a paradox. They would explain you to be as someone who is like mystical, magical, amazing, but at the same time you're just another normal person doing the best it is that you can and making the most out of it, what it is that you have. You're very humble, you're very grounded, which is a repeating theme throughout all of the readings, which is nice to know that we have that energy surrounding us. So we have rediscover your individuality and become the dragon. I think you guys are trendsetters. You guys are very original in your approach to life and your ways of thinking, expressing, teaching, sharing, exchanging, you know, all that sort of thing. So you probably have found that you've inspired a lot of people to kind of copy you. But at the same time, I don't think you get mad at these sorts of things. Instead, you kind of approach these sorts of people and help them to see the goodness within themselves and help them to embrace their own authenticity, their own individuality, and you help them to capitalize on who it is that they are so that they can be truly fulfilled in the long run. Then capitalizing on who it is that they want to be, who it is that they attach themselves to, the labels that they limit themselves with, the definitions they try to embody without realizing how that really does limit their experiences in life and the happiness and joy it is that they can have. So yeah, you really are a symbol of growth, a symbol of hope, and a symbol of mastery over being a student. With your ability to remain the student, you always stay on top because you always stay 10 steps ahead, learning about what is necessary to create the best. You guys might have followed through from another pile, but if not, no worries. What is it that pile number 6 is offering to the world around them? What is it that they're bringing to the table? What it is that you're bringing to the table is, once again, originality. It's like approaching old things in new ways, presenting old things in better ways, learning and helping people to make rapid improvements by being present, by being in acceptance of self, by providing information and guidance to people that they might be lacking. You're very good at exposing what is, once again, so that people can gain clear insight of what it is that they do want, where it is that they do want to go, what it is that they could actually be moving into that isn't really particularly purposeful for them. You redirect them. You know, you're like a direction giver in life. You point people in directions that they don't think about, that they don't see, that they don't believe is possible, and you give them clear possibilities and methods and tools and structures, and you leave it in the hands of those who are really willing to put in the work and do so. So those are the messages that I have for you today, pile number 6. Thank you so much for stopping by and for doing all the work it is that you do. It really is amazing that you guys can help people to tap into their inner wonderment. That is such an important force within this world that not many people appreciate or even understand the true power of. The ability to imagine, the ability to idealize, to stay optimistic, and to stay in the energy of embodiment and building is an amazing mastery to have, especially in this time and age when it's so easy to give up and to give in, you know. So thank you for being a leading force in that area of life. But with all that being said, until next time.